Almost all the nations of the world, there are myths and legends about giants, remarkably similar to humans. All the world's faiths and religions talk about them. On Earth, there are no inhabited land, where neither would live, according to legend, giants. In the minds of people so deeply ingrained belief in them, even the huge stones of Europe, megaliths, or South America, and the pyramids of Egypt called Cyclopean buildings. Even the official history confirms that once lived on the earth giants, who apparently were very similar to humans. Mention of the giants found in the literary and historical documents of different ages. Numerous findings indicate that, of the race of giants is not an invention. They actually lived on the planet and has a significant influence on the course of history. But what, then, to explain the existence of similar legends and myths have very different and distant peoples of the world? The fact that the giants appear in all of these sources is not in any way related to each other, cannot be a coincidence. Probably lie at the heart of the historical facts that have been handed down from generation to generation as a tradition about 5.3-meter people. On the reality of race of giants in the distant past of our planet and show the various finds, recorded in ancient historical documents. Now it is proved that the atmosphere of the Earth in ancient times contained 50% more oxygen than now. This was revealed by studies of air bubbles in amber. Due to this fact was found the answer to the question of the existence of giant plants and animals. This fact gave reason to believe that human nature is also supposed to be the other. The air, saturated with oxygen, provides life race of giants. Many of the legends of giants exist in the Nordic and Germanic countries, Tibet. There is a theory that long before the beginning of a new era in the world existed side by side, two people, men and giants, which were 3 times more than the first. In addition to the myths of various peoples in the Bible, they were referred to in the Greek stories. Of all the legends of giants can form an overall picture. First, the giants, according to legend, had incredible strength. It is through this power the world has many monuments giants such as Tibetan City of Gods, Stonehenge, Teotihuacan, the Egyptian Sphinx, etc. For example, in Lebanon, in the bottom Baalbekskoy terraces on 3 large blocks, each of 800 tons. They were fitted together with amazing accuracy, to the millimeter. And that even the most modern construction equipment is a daunting task. Only to have to be able to move one such unit, it would force more than 40,000 people. Also, according to legend, giants possessed such knowledge, to a level which has not yet reached even modern science. For example, Atlanta, which opened people mysteries of astronomy, making it an immortalized in the form of a strong man, who supports Teotihuacan. It exactly matches the structure of the solar system. 2 churches that are in it, symbolizing the planet Pluto and Uranus, and the latter were only discovered by scientists in the 20th century. In the Old Testament says that there were giants on the relationship, God's sons and daughters of men, i.e. are the result of mixing blood. According to the text of the Bible, God, seeing how utterly corrupt mankind, sent a punishment for people, the Great Flood. Tradition has it that the giants' frivolous attitude to the flood, and so for the most part and were lost. In the Babylonian books say that on board the ark went only enormous Ounce Noi and locked him up for a strong grid. After it was over, Ounce went to Palestine to live. Describes the fate of the giant is Thor. After leaving Egypt, the people of the Jews, Moses once sent scouts to Palestine, and the giants met the king. Jews subsequently took over his bed. It long has been more than 4 meters. Another famous historical character is the giant Goliath, who was growing more than 3 meters. Subsequently it fought and was defeated by King David. Archaeological evidence of the truth of the sacred books. Giants, according to legend, tried to escape in the mountains of the Caucasus from the advancing waters. Searchers found there was in the 20th century remains of giant humans. One of the latest finds were amazing 4-meter skeletons, which are found in one of the mountain caves of Georgia. Herodotus wrote that the warriors of Sparta were on the staff of the giant skeleton Orestes during military campaigns. The skeleton is 3.5 meters. The historian Josephus described as giants, and noted that they had a thunderous voice. In the books of Pausanias also contains information about giants. Thus, it is history written by Pausanias about how to Syria from the river bed Sront raised human skeleton, which reached 5.5 meters. About 4-meter skeleton of information, and in medieval book entitled History and Greed. The skeleton was found in Cumberland. The skeleton was in military garb, and not far from it found a huge sword and axe. Judge from America E.P. West, who lived in the 19th century, and was fond of digging, found the burial mounds in the forests of western Missouri. Inside the burial grounds were huge human bones. For example, the lower jaw of one of the skeleton's jaw dimensions exceed the average person at least twice. And at the end of the 19th century in Ireland was found sedigitate mummy, whose growth was nearly 4 meters. This finding was a huge publicity and watched tens of thousands of people at the shows in Dublin, Manchester, and Liverpool. And in 1912 in the state of Nevada in the United States were found 3-meter red-haired mummies. Archaeologist Ralph von Koenigswald in Hong Kong in 1935 found human teeth that are larger than 5 times the size of the teeth common man. On the island of Ponape in the 1970 American expedition of archaeologists from the ground picked up the skeletons of people who were twice as modern man. In Turkey in the 1950s, the road builders accidentally stumbled on the skeletons, which alone femurs had a length of 120 centimeters in a lot of these cases. For example, Alaska, 1950. Bulldozer-leveled burial mounds on the surface appeared fossil bones and skulls of people. Skull width was 30 centimeters and a height of 58 centimeters. On the jaws were 2 rows of teeth. Length of the shin bone was from 150 to 180 centimeters. In southern Mongolia in 1999 by British paleontologists found a fossilized skeleton of a giant structure of the skull as evidence of the fact that during his life he had the speech organs. In the long bones of his feet up to 7 meters, and the total height of the giant was 15 feet. More recorded cases of detection of giant footprints. For example, in Nevada found footprints in 60 centimeters, the age of which is about 248 million years. And in Turkmenistan have found a footprint, the age of 150 million years. You should also mention the trilobite, crushed foot, clad in a great sandal. Here, the age and does incredible, 600 million years old. Where is now in all these amazing discoveries? Many of them were lost. Some are in museums, but the scientific world ignores their existence, as most scientists do not take seriously tales about giants. From some of the findings, is rumored to rid themselves, archaeologists. For example, they were burned like the Nevada mummy. Without any explanation from scientists, some disappeared like the skeletons of Ponape, and she then lost expedition funding.